First pick Wanwan. I think Xavier's a better first pick than Wanwan because Xavier can screw over Wanwan later anyway with her outranging her. Indo should have first picked Xavier here. Dumb choice. Nothing really to say much about this draft except that they should have first picked Xavier. Uranus pick here, also really early. They shouldn't have picked it right away. Like why did they pick Uranus here, chat? Oh, actually, that was PH. Okay, well, even PH, they shouldn't have picked Uranus here. Because there's no way Indo's gonna pick it, right? Unless he wants last pick. Okay, maybe it makes sense. Well, their gold wants last pick because they want to see what they picked. So I actually can't criticize that. That's fine. No one did anything wrong here. I'll take that back. So I was rushing my thought process. Sicilian pick. I think Sicilian is awful here. Absolutely horrendous to pick. But what are the other mage options? I think Lily would have been so much better. The reason why Sicilian is awful here is because you're playing Sicilian versus Lolita, Uranus, and Akai. They're all just going to be in your face. Sicilian needs to be super far back and get peeled, or it needs to scale. But how is he going to scale if they're all in his face and killing him? And they picked Diggy too. Diggy wouldn't be a bad pick, but you need an early game mage with Diggy because Diggy offers no zoning. They should have done... Lily is banned? Okay. I would say they got outdrafted because they don't have mages to pick and they have such a hard, strong front line. Because when you pick Wanwan, the thing with Wanwan is that Wanwan cannot melt tanks. She can one-shot squishies with her ult, but she cannot melt tanks at all. So when you pick Wanwan, I think it'd be better to get a strong mage in your first 3 because you need that mage to complement your damage. Like, picking Sicilian and Diggy and Wanwan, your early game is so bad. Like, you will not be able to do anything at all. And the enemies didn't even pick a strong early game. They have... It was Beatrix. The enemies don't even have a super strong early game comp, right? Lolita can't clear well. Xavier has bad clear speed. Uranus is good early game. I don't know how Kai does because I haven't seen that much. And Beatrix is like all right early game now, right? But she scales okay. But the enemies, they can't do anything if PH gets a lead. Like, their comps suck so bad for early game. They don't do any damage. Esme is the only, like, the strongest early game pick, and maybe Basha's like okay. But here, I would say that they should have third picked Lilia. You just gotta think about what they're gonna ban, right? They needed a better roamer, not a roamer. I think the Diggy pick would have been fine, but if you want to pick Diggy, you need to have strong damage elsewhere. But Lilia is banned. That's why I'm saying they should have third picked. They should have third picked their mage. They shouldn't have third picked Esme. I'm not saying they last pick, chat. I'm saying they should have third picked it. Third picked it because when you pick Wanwan, you need damage with Wanwan to get them low, so she actually makes her ult work. Because Wanwan does not melt tanks. It's like Wanwan is good only for her ult, but her ult will not melt tanks. Like tank melter ADCs would be like Beatrix, Brody, Carrie. Carrie would be number 1, obviously. But then like Beatrix, Brody, Claude, right? Those would be like the ones who actually can kill tanks. Any other marksman cannot really melt tanks. Think about it this way, chat. Like forget everything I said. It's still relevant, but think about it this way. If you're drafting at this point, here's how my thought process is at this point. Look at how many mages are banned. There's 2 mages banned. There's one jungler banned, which is Ling, only Ling. But there's no tank junglers banned, right? How many mages are available to play? There is Lilia, Kag, Farsa, are the 3 meta ones that are actually relevant. All right, that's all there is right now. All there is. And then Cecil, maybe. I would only say it's 2 really good ones, or it's only 1 really good one. Lilia is the only good one. 2 mediocre and 1 shit one. Kag is the shit one. Cecilia and Farsa the mediocre, and number 1 is Lilia, right? Then look at your junglers. Junglers, you have Balmond and Basha, Karina that are all open. These are all like good junglers. These 3 are all good junglers, right? You already know they have their jungler with Akai. So my thought process here would be, okay, if they ban out our mages, we don't have a good mage to pick. But if we prioritize, we don't prioritize our jungle, even if they ban 2 junglers, there's at least 1 decent jungler we can still pick. So you would pick whatever you want. XP, if they want to prior XP, that's fine. You pick Esme. But then after that, they should have picked their mage, because if they ban their mages, there's no good mages to pick. But if they spend 2 bans on junglers, it doesn't matter because there's still 1 jungler to pick. This is what I would have thought right here, right away. This is why we don't have a coach, because we would have thought that right away, and that would have been a better draft. They screwed all 3 draft phases. They screwed 3 out of 4 draft phases. The only draft phase they did good was the one that they won, but then all the other games they screwed up their draft. I don't know. Indo's draft was just so scuffed. Like so scuffed. But the Indo didn't really screw up this draft phase until this last pick. The only mistake they made this draft phase was the only mistake in this draft phase. Because I already said earlier, but like, why would you pick Uranus when they still don't pick their marksman yet? Because Uranus' hard counters are marksman. But he should have not picked this right away and maybe pick their tank first, let them pick, and then pick Uranus if he doesn't carry, pick Uranus. If he does carry, he could have picked like use on our pack. You can hate as much as you want. Like you're calling me a stupid player or MPL is too diverse. Okay, think about it this way, right? We were the only team that could beat Blacklist in M3. Even though we lost to them later, we still beat them eventually. And regardless of that, we only needed 2 weeks to get that good. Okay, imagine if we actually stayed in there for over months or a few months to actually get better. All right, like you could disregard my opinion as much as you want. I'm not saying PH did bad. PH did good. I'm not saying they did bad. You think I'm shitting on their coach for some reason. I'm shitting on whoever drafted for Indo. Alright? Like, think about it how you want. I'm not being cocky, I'm not being arrogant, I'm just stating facts.
All these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light.